So they finally reached a deal in the Senate over this stimulus package. The one-party system, the Republicans and the Democrats, finally came to an agreement. Here is the breakdown of the stimulus package and how it concerns you. So most adults will get a payment of $1,200 plus $500 per child. There'll be 4 months of unemployment insurance instead of 3. Hospitals will get $130 billion. State and local governments will get $150 billion. Small businesses will get $350 billion. And corporations get $500 billion. Isn't that funny how most of the money just seems to always find its way into the pockets of oligarchs and capitalists? It's really interesting, isn't it? That corporations get more money than hospitals in a global pandemic during a public health emergency. Kind of weird, right? It's almost as if your representatives care more about giving corporations money than they do to hospitals, to public services, to public utilities, to the average worker. Crazy, right? This $1,200 payment for most adults is a one-time payment. That's it. That's it. Before, we were talking about a 2-time payment, which again is not even enough. No, now it's a one-time payment. You get 1 crumb. That's it. I think, however, it's very safe to say that $1,200 is not going to suffice for most working class people. Yes, I regret to inform you, you have been screwed once again by your elected representatives. Once again, they have come to represent the corporations and not you. A certain senator from Vermont was very clear in saying that this payment should be at least $2,000, but of course, they did not heed his call because they just want to give you crumbs. You think you would get a lion's share of the money? You think you, the small business, would get direct cash? Ha ha ha. In your dreams, that boy. Don't be daft. Don't be silly. This is really disgusting on so many levels. And once again, these people in Washington have expressed their disdain. They loathe you. They are spitting in your face. They are laughing in your face. You, the American worker. You, the average Joe. They're spitting in your face. That's what they're telling you. They're saying, fuck you. We're going to give most of the money to the corporations who don't need it. And you are going to get a one-time payment of $1,200, which won't even cover your rent, let alone your living costs or whatever else you have to worry about, your debts, student loan payments, your kids, whatever. And by the way, what I find really interesting is that these corporations were asking for this money. Remember our beautiful friends in the candy industry who want $500 million? Yes, the candy industry want $500 million. Boeing wants $60 billion. The private space industry, Elon Musk. You remember the cool guy from the memes? Yeah, it turns out he's a dirty capitalist and a vulture who has also swooped down like the rest of them to steal your money, the taxpayers' money, which should be going to you, the money he does not need. The private space industry is not really our point of concern at this moment, is it? Nor are the airlines. Is that really our primary concern during a health pandemic, or our hospitals are concerned? Maybe we should have masks. Maybe we should have respirators and ventilators. Do you not think that those are more important? No, of course not. Elon Musk, the candy industry, Boeing, they all want money. The airline industry, the cruise industry wants money, and they are going to get it. And it is a resounding, abundantly clear fuck you from Washington, D.C. They don't care about you. These stinking assholes at Capitol Hill need to be dragged by their fucking ears out and reminded why they are there in the first place, okay? These people are not there to make money. They're not there to sell stocks. They're not there to suck corporations' dicks. They're not there to give bailouts to people who don't need them. They are there to work for you. And these cocksuckers, these fucking class traitors who call themselves, oh, Democrats. Oh, with the Democrats. And oh, with the Republicans. Oh, I'm a Republican. Who think that they are above you. They walk in there with their nice little suits. These cocksuckers have betrayed you once again, as they have in 2009, as they have before that, and as they do every single day by screwing you over. This entire expenditure was all about giving corporations more money, again, money they don't need, with no strings attached. Meanwhile, you get nothing. People aren't being tested. People are dying. People are going to work infecting others. You have an entire healthcare system that is malfunctioning, that is underfunded, that is an embarrassment. And instead of investing in that, instead of putting the entire $2 trillion into the healthcare system, because, that would be nice during a pandemic, no, they've given the majority of the money to people who do not fucking need it. Right now, we don't need the cruise industry. We don't need airlines. We don't need the candy industry. We need respirators. We need masks. We need hospitals. We need doctors. We need investment in a healthcare system. And, there are people on the right who will tell you that, you can't let these corporations go without. We'll lose jobs. They'll go under. It's bad for the economy in the long term. What they don't tell you is that this money was given with no strings attached. The government is not making sure that these corporations keep their employees on the payroll. They're not making sure, they're not stipulating that these corporations have to keep that money in this economy, not invested elsewhere. They're not stipulating that this money can't be given in bonuses to CEOs. They're not stipulating that this money has to go to the people who are actually producing the work, who are doing the labor. No, it's just, here you go. Here's the money. Do what you want. Meanwhile, guess who is being means tested? Guess who is being put under scrutiny and under conditions? You, the average American worker. You are being means tested. That $1,200 is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. If you didn't file taxes in 2018, guess what? Fuck you. That's what Washington, D.C. is telling you. Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that fucking nice and dandy? Once again, unfettered capitalism. Once again, as Martin Luther King told us, socialism for the rich and rugged individualism for the poor. This is absolutely disgraceful. This is blatant trickle-down economics, right? They're just blindly trusting profit-motivated bastards who run these corporations to give you the money through the kindness of their own heart, to invest that money in America through the kindness of their own heart. Trickle-down economics is a joke. It's a joke. And you have no guarantee that this money, your money, the taxpayers' money, is going to be used effectively. You have no guarantee whatsoever where that money goes. And everything I'm saying here would be true 365 days of the year, 24/7. But you know what makes it even worse? The fact you have a pandemic and the majority of the money went to industries that are non-essential and no one cares about, and we don't need them right now. If Boeing went under, I'm not so sure that majority of Americans would care when they can't even go to a doctor, when they can't even get tested for COVID-19, when you're going to have deaths soaring very soon. I mean, this is just ridiculous. And of course, you're going to people, oh, how dare you say that Boeing is the number one exporter? They have 150,000 jobs that they need. No. Go fuck yourself. Boeing has enough money to stay afloat. They don't need. Here is the issue. They keep using this term that corporations need a bailout. They don't fucking need it. They want it. They would like it. They don't need it. People who don't have healthcare need a bailout. People who have just been laid off now need a bailout. People who have COVID-19 and can't get treated need a bailout. People who can't pay their debts, their mortgages, the rent, their car insurance payment, people who can't buy groceries need a bailout. You don't fucking need a bailout, you corporatist motherfucker. You want it because you're fucking greedy and you're fucking over American workers and you're nothing but scum and a fucking parasite. That's what you are. And just to show you, just to prove to you straight from the horse's mouth that these companies don't need this money and they are stealing your work and your wealth, Boeing CEO balks at idea of government equity stake in exchange for coronavirus aid. Okay, so let me translate this for you. The government suggested that, look, if we bail you out, you have to give us some of your shares in exchange, right? And Boeing said, no, in that case, we don't want the bailout. Wait a second. What do you mean you don't want the bailout? I thought you just said you need a bailout. $60 billion of bailout money, as a matter of fact. So that sounds pretty serious. What do you mean all of a sudden you don't want it? Oh, I guess you don't need that money then, do you? You fucking liar. You fucking thief. This is what it's all about, man. You're hearing it straight from the horse's mouth. The fucking CEO of Boeing is telling you he doesn't want the bailout anymore. if he has to give you shares in exchange. The fucking greed is unbelievable. They just can't stop. They just can't stop these people. And they just do it in plain sight. They don't give a fuck. They do it in plain sight. No shame whatsoever. And by the way, Boeing are not going under or doing badly because of coronavirus. They're doing badly because their 737 MAX airplane was a giant failure back in 2019 and got grounded, and they're losing a ton of money from that. Their stocks also plummeted. So that's why they're doing badly. And it's really funny how on the right, they love the free market. Let the market work its thing. And yet when companies go under, oh, we have to come and save them with the taxpayers' money. Oh yeah, we need a little bit of that socialism quickly. Taxpayer money, which is needed to deal with the global pandemic. Money that could have gone to hospitals. Money that could have gone to you, the worker who just got laid off. And another great thing that AOC points out, the cruise industry registers as foreign companies to avoid paying U.S. taxes. Now they want U.S. bailout money. Now the same Republicans who say immigrants who pay U.S. taxes shouldn't get help are bending over backwards to give money to foreign companies who don't pay taxes. Wow. This whole pandemic is emblematic of this greed in capitalism. So many places refused to lock down. So many places refused to shut down. So many places refused to take the necessary health precautions. Why? All because of money. All because of profits. Even when we're talking about governments being ill-prepared, rich Western European countries that have, plundered and profited off of brown countries, the global South, for hundreds of years and built their own wealth up, they didn't lack the money. They didn't lack the infrastructure. They didn't lack the resources. They had it, but they gave it to corporations. They gave it to the military-industrial complex. And I'm not just talking about the US, I'm talking about the UK, I'm talking about France, I'm talking about all the Western European countries who are rich, who have the resources. This lack of planning, this lack of preparation, the root cause is politicians selling away public utilities, politicians taking taxpayer money, giving it away to private industries, giving it away to companies that make money off of wars. This is the root cause. It's always the fucking corporations and their profits. Why do you think the NHS in the UK is underfunded? Why do you think the NHS in the UK doesn't have enough beds and they lack 40,000 nurses? Is the UK in the 12th century? The UK is a poor country? What's the issue here? It's because politicians are selling the fucking thing away to corporations. They're misappropriating taxpayer money for shit that people don't fucking need. And then when it comes to a time of need, oh, we don't have the money. Oh, we were ill-prepared. Oh, we gutted that program that would have helped us now. By the way, this meme is pretty emblematic of what's going on here. A one-time payment. Wow. So this bill that they are about to pass in the Senate, this stimulus package, it stipulates that stock buybacks are not allowed by Trump. They're not allowed by elected officials. They're not allowed by their in-laws, their spouses, etc. Which is quite funny that they have to put that in the bill in the first place because they know that people are going to do that. But what's even more interesting is that it's all hot air. Apparently, there's a clause in the bill that allows Steve Mnuchin to just wave the thing like that. So much for transparency, so much for honesty and integrity. No, they're going to make as much money as they can off of this thing. This whole package is nothing but a handout to corporations. That's what it is. It's not about saving you. It's not about investing in hospitals. It's not about dealing with this pandemic. It is, once again, the vultures coming down, swooping down on the taxpayers' money, your money, and taking as much as they can. That's it. One argument that the Republicans are using, specifically Lindsey Graham, is saying that, hold on a second, we can't give workers too much protections because then, they'll just stop working. What? Yeah, he's actually saying that. And specifically about nurses, the people on the front line who are actually fighting this pandemic.
You're a nurse, aide, making $15 or $16 an hour. You're on the front lines here. A lot of doctors' offices are going to have to roll back because elective surgery is no longer a source of income for a bunch of doctors. So you're going to have all these well-trained nurses that are going to make $24 an hour on unemployment. You're literally incentivizing taking people out of the workforce at a time when we need critical infrastructure supplied with workers.
So he's essentially saying here, look, man, we can't help people that have already been laid off. No, we have to make sure that we screw them harder. And we also make sure that people who are in work and might get laid off or might have to go on unemployment are also screwed. Basically, we're screwing everyone. But he makes no mention of the $500 billion that's going to corporations. That's fine. Because, incentivizing corporations to collect checks while they do nothing, that's fine. But, having protections for workers and even nurses, the people on the front lines, that's not okay. Wow. Wow. Listen, Lindsay. Listen, come here a second. If you're saying that $24 an hour is a really, really pricey incentive, why don't you just pay the nurses $24 an hour then? Just a suggestion. Maybe the people who are in the trenches right now, risking contaminating themselves and their families and going through 12-hour, 14-hour shifts every single day to fight this crisis, maybe they should be compensated adequately. You don't think? Oh no, that's right. We have to give the $500 billion to the candy industry, the cruise industry, the airlines, to Boeing. I forgot. How silly of me. How silly. This is literally a fucking dystopia. Yes, that's what it is. And by the way, this is exactly the stuff that Lindsey Graham and 3 other GOP senators were arguing with Bernie Sanders over. They didn't like the provision that Bernie Sanders had put in to give workers 100% of their salaries plus $600 and cover gig economy workers. And so Bernie went on this epic rant. I covered that in another video. Go watch it. Take a look. The entire package, the entire $2 trillion should have gone to small businesses, should have gone to working class people, should have gone to the American population, not the corporations. Okay, they call this a stimulus package. What does that mean? The word stimulus. It means that we're putting money in your hand so you go and participate in the economy and get the wheels moving. Giving $500 billion to corporations, they store that money in the Cayman Islands, they buy their own stocks. Basically, they remove the money from the circuitry of the economy, which does not get the wheels moving. That is the complete fucking opposite of what you want to do. That is the opposite of a stimulus. They don't pay their workers adequately. They give their CEOs ridiculous, obscene bonuses. That's the complete opposite of a stimulus. If you really want to get the wheels moving again, you want to get the economy going, you have to give it to the people with the highest propensity to consume. You must give disposable income to the people who actually will use it. Do you understand? People who will need to pay off debts, their rent, mortgages, buy groceries, take care of their kids. These people will re-inject that money into the economy. For sure. You know it. With corporations, you don't. You made sure that they have a carte blanche to do whatever they like with that money. What about the American people? Are they also not important? Do they not deserve to eat, to buy groceries? Do they not deserve to live in peace? To have peace of mind that, oh, we're on a lockdown right now, I can't work, but the government has got my back. They don't deserve that? If you care so much about the economy, why won't you give the people with the highest propensity to consume disposable income? You fucking hypocrite. You fucking lying dog-faced pony soldier. Go fuck yourself. And of course, you're going to have Nancy Pelosi, people in the Democratic Party telling you about how they did such a lovely job. And, this is what they call a good result. Oh, we made some concessions. Oh, we compromised. But, we came through for the workers in the end. No, you didn't, bitch. No, you didn't. You didn't in any capacity whatsoever. This $1,200 doesn't cover squat. Those corporate handouts given with no strings attached, no worker protections. Who knows what's going to happen with that money? But don't worry, because the Democrats did their best. Don't worry, because Nancy Pelosi is a progressive. These corporatists, they are practically begging you. They're begging you to get out the yellow vests and the guillotines. They're pleading. They're putting it right in your face. Please, please go get the guillotines. It's not red versus blue. It's billionaires versus you. This is not just one party being unfair to the workers, misusing taxpayer money. No, it's both of them. It's the entire goddamn apparatus. And they've screwed you once again.